What is up, everybody? My name is Cameron. Welcome to the channel. And today we're out here on the beaches of Galveston, Texas, and we're actually doing some shark fishing right now, but that is not what this video is about. As you can see behind me, we got all the shark rods set out. It is currently about 2 p.m. And while we've been sitting here waiting for a bite, we have been seeing a ton of action off the beach. We've seen fish blowing up, birds diving, just a lot of life and a lot of stuff moving. But the fish are really far out right now and too far to reach with my normal rod. So I'm gonna show y'all exactly what I'm using and how I plan to catch these, and then we're gonna go out there and see what it is that is busting up on all this bait. Let's get to it. So because the fish are so far out, we're going to be using something that's unconventional for wade fishing. This is a 10-foot Pin Carnage surf rod. I got that paired with a Spinfisher 4500, and we're gonna be throwing a 1-ounce spoon. Spoons catch pretty much everything. Nothing that swims out there is gonna pass up a spoon. So the reason we're using this 10-foot rod is, like I said, we're gonna be having to make some really long casts. The fish are farther than we can reach with a normal rod. And with the length in this rod, we should be able to cast right into those schools of bait. Let's go ahead and head out there and see what we can get into. Okay, so we just got out here about waist deep or thigh deep, and there is a ton of action. You can see pods of bait all around us, and what they are is they're little menhaden, just real small shad. So this spoon is gonna do a perfect job of imitating them. You can see fish blowing up on them, and a little shark just came spinning out of the water like crazy about 30 feet in front of me. So we're just gonna start by making a cast real far out there. Some of the bait is moving in closer, but a lot of the blow-ups I'm seeing are farther out. So that's where this long rod is gonna come into play. And then there's a few ways that you can work these spoons. You can just do a nice steady retrieve like this. You can do a real fast retrieve, which is great for Spanish mackerel and those faster fish. And then you can also just do big pulls like that. Let it sink and lift up the rod tip and let it sink. That is a great way to mimic an injured bait fish. There's a huge pot of bait right in front of me. Another good way to work it, kind of hop it along the bottom like it's a jig head. Bounce, 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 and let it sink. Twitch, 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 and let it fall. No matter how you choose to work the spoon, whenever you put something shiny in front of a fish, they're typically gonna eat it. So let's make some casts and see if we can get hooked up here. Big blow up to my side. There we go, y'all. We're hooked up. Not too far in front of me either. Man, I was just working that lure back to me. Oh, looks like a nice speckled trout right here. Yeah, it's a real nice speckled trout, y'all. Man, that was about to be my last cast too. I made like 20 casts, I haven't even gotten bit. And there we go, we just hooked up on this nice trout right in front of us. Boom. Y'all check that out. A nice speckled trout right there, and he's hooked right in the lip. So we're gonna pop this out and we're not gonna keep him. He's plenty healthy to swim off. And I don't even have a stringer on me. There we go, look at that, guys. A nice speckled trout right there. Look, you can see he's gotten bit by something on the back. Probably a little shark or a dolphin trying to get at him. Let's get a release. Go on and live another day, buddy. Awesome. All right, well, let's do a few more casts and see if we can catch some more. That was fun. There we go, y'all. We're on again. Just a couple casts later. There we go. Man, that was right in front of me too. I got this real long rod, like I said earlier, so I can cast super far. And now, of course, the fish are blowing up right in front of me. Earlier we were seeing the fish like 70, 80 yards away. And now I come out here with this 10-foot surf rod and the fish are right here next to me. Y'all check that out. Another beautiful keeper trout. Once again, gonna get a release on him. And he goes and lives to see another day. Hey, let's send it right back out here real close and see what happens. And the way I'm working this right now is I'm just doing 2 small pops, maybe 3, and then letting it fall. Another one right here in front of me. Oh, he came off. There we go, y'all. We're hooked up again. Let's go. This guy's a little bit smaller than the other 2. Yeah, that's a tiny guy right there. And there's a bunch of stuff blowing up, so we're gonna hurry up and pop this guy off. Let's go ahead and cast it right back out there. It kind of happens in waves. You'll get a few bites in a row. You'll see a whole bunch of fish blowing up, and then it'll die out for a good 5 or 10 minutes. And then it'll pick back up, and there'll be a whole feeding frenzy for a few minutes, and then it stops again. You just gotta take advantage of whenever they're moving through. They're following that bait. And right now, I can see a bunch of blowups over here. So let's sling it that way. Should be perfect. We're gonna let it sink all the way down to the bottom and bounce it back. There we go.
Yeah, on them.
Oh my gosh, I keep losing them. Let's get right back out there in that same spot. Well, y'all, it has gone completely slick calm out here in the matter of just a few minutes. And all the shad seem to have moved on. I don't see any more blowups happening, but I do see a ton of mullet now, little finger mullet. And it's just like an unlimited train of mullet running from left to right. Fish! Whoa, right as I was talking about the mullet. There we go, a trout, y'all. Man, he's either foul hooked or he's wrapped in the line. I didn't even pop it. Oh yeah, he's foul hooked. Well, there we go. So we're gonna make this our last cast and then we're gonna head back to the truck. But don't go anywhere because we are going to be doing a catch and cook with a trout that Adventure Bro donated earlier. So we still have one to take home and cook up for you guys. Well, we're back in the kitchen like always. We got our beautiful speckled trout fillets right here. And today we're gonna be making something super delicious. We're gonna be making blackened speckled trout with a nice cream sauce to pour over the top of it. And we're gonna be serving that up with some jambalaya. So let's go ahead and get to cooking. So we're gonna start with our cream sauce because that is what is gonna take the longest to cook. All I got here is some tomatoes, garlic, and some shallots. You can use regular onions, doesn't really matter. We're gonna toss that into a pan with some melted butter and get that sauteed down. We want all that to be nice and soft in there and get those onions translucent. And it should take probably about 5 to 10 minutes to get there. All right, our vegetables are sauteed down. Next thing we're gonna go in with is just some chicken broth right here, chicken stock. And we're just doing this whole recipe by eye, but I'm just gonna add enough to cover the bottom of the pan. A little bit more, just like that. And what's funny, guys, is I make cream sauce quite a bit. It's really great on spaghetti, pasta, really everything like that, y'all already know. But my recipe is never the same twice. I always just do it with whatever I have in the pantry. Sometimes we'll throw in mushrooms, sometimes we don't have the tomatoes. And every time I add just a bunch of different seasonings. I might add Italian seasoning today, and then the next time I make it, I might not have any Italian seasoning, and I might just go with straight Cajun seasoning or whatever. It's always a little bit different, but the base for it is just chicken stock, your vegetables, and the cream, of course, and it always turns out delicious. So whenever you're going to make this, add whatever you want. I promise you it's gonna be good. We've let that simmer down for a minute, kind of let it come together with those vegetables, and now we're gonna go with our heavy cream. So we're just gonna pour this in there. I already used this cream the other day, so we have about half a container, and that should be plenty. And you can adjust the thickness of your sauce. If it's too thick, you can add more chicken stock, or if it's too thin, I always like to add some Parmesan. You definitely do not have to add the Parmesan cheese, but it's a game changer, so I definitely recommend it. We'll add some of that in there, stir it around, and then we just turn the heat on to low. We're gonna add our seasonings in just a minute, whatever you wanna add, and it shouldn't take too long. Let this come together for about 5 minutes and you got yourself a delicious cream sauce. For our seasonings today, we're gonna start out with one thing that I always like to use, which is some paprika right here. Just toss a little bit of that. You don't wanna put too much. Paprika is not too strong, but if you're using smoked paprika, it definitely can be overwhelming. Then we're gonna go with some Cajun seasoning. Then we're gonna add a little bit of thyme. Be careful with this, thyme is very strong. So add just a little bit. And then we'll add our Italian seasoning to finish it off. Mix that all together and that is done. And y'all look at that, it's starting to thicken up. It's got some nice color to it. I know it's gonna be good. Now all we have to do is blacken our fish and then we're ready to put this on a plate and serve it up. So for our blackened fish, of course, the most important thing you're gonna need is some blackened seasoning. And I really like to cake this stuff on there so we get a nice blackened crust on it. And all we have is some butter and oil mixed together in a pan, heating up. You wanna add that oil with your butter because it's gonna keep that butter from burning too bad. So, a lot of blackened seasoning here. Make sure you get a blackened seasoning that you like. Some of them are stronger than others, some of them are spicier than others. Some of them have more herbs, you never really know. Let's go ahead and go into the pan here. Gotta get that heat up a little bit, but. Okay, and when you're blackening, it's very quick, maybe about 2 minutes per side. We're just trying to get some nice color on it, and it's done and ready to eat. All right, let's go ahead and plate this up. I've got my jambalaya right here, and this is not homemade. This is just boxed jambalaya. I think it's one of the best prepackaged things that you can buy at the store. Check out how good that looks. And then we just cut up and add sausage into there. You can add chicken. I'm sure shrimp would be great. Crawfish is amazing, but we just did some sausage jambalaya. And you know, sausage jambalaya is a meal in itself. You can eat this just how it is, and that's a full meal right there. We're using it just as a bed to put our fish on. This is a heavy meal. I'm not lying to you guys with that. This is a real big meal. Definitely something you want to eat at dinner time, not lunch. And it's like noon right now. So take our fish. Look at that. Perfect. Check out that blackened fish. Perfect. And this is where the magic happens. Check that out. That looks amazing. Okay, we're gonna let that cool for just a second, then we're gonna take a bite. And we already know it's gonna be good, but we're definitely ready to try it out. Cut a little piece off the side right here. Got some sauce on it. Look at that. Beautiful. I can't wait any longer. Let's go for it. That's 10 out of 10. That is one of my favorite things that I've made on the channel. I told you before, I make this sauce all the time for spaghetti and pasta and everything like that. But I think this is the first time I've done it on fish. And it is amazing. This is a 10 out of 10 meal right here. I think the only thing we could do that would just bring it up to an 11 out of 10, if that's even possible, would be to add some crab meat in that sauce. That would be a game changer. That'd be life changing right there. But I want to tell you guys, thank you so much for watching. Definitely give this a try. You won't be disappointed. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Thank you guys so much for all the comments in the previous video and for all the side dish recommendations that y'all left in the comments. I'll definitely be making them sometime soon, and I'm sure I'll be putting some of them in the videos. Once again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not already. And if you are, like always guys, I thank you so very much. Until next time, peace.